Hi, I'm David Rain and I'm the Apprenticeship Manager for Poundland. We are a national retailer that operate in the United Kingdom, and we have a majority of our apprentices that do study retailer apprenticeships as well as management apprenticeships with Systems Group.
Hi, my name's Susie and I'm the Senior Administrator and HR Officer at ITD Global. Here at ITD Global, we are well aware that we are only as good as our staff are. Without the good quality manpower that we have, the company would suffer.
Hi, my name's Matt Hinton, one of the National Key Account Managers for System Group. I've been interviewing one of our key clients over the last couple of weeks with regards to how apprenticeships are supported within their organisation. So Dave Jones is the Head of Project Management Office at Wilko, and he has 9 direct reports for him, and out of those 9, 6 of them are currently on apprenticeship programmes, and a further 2 are considering which apprenticeship is going to be best suited for them. So Dave's a really good ambassador of apprenticeships for Wilko.
In order to maintain our high standards, we like to take on apprentices and encourage them to learn the business from the bottom up, whilst getting a qualification at the same time. By doing this, we are able to train our staff to work in the way that ITD demands, and in return we encourage promotion up the ranks as the apprentice progresses through their training programme and develops his or her skills.
Apprentices are instrumental to Wilko in achieving their 2030 business strategy, accessing relevant apprenticeships across all business areas with a target of 10% across all employees enrolled onto an apprenticeship programme. By providing new knowledge, skills and behaviours, apprenticeships help to drive confidence in apprentices who not only learn these traits in an off-the-job situation, but they all actually embed them into the business, evidencing improvements and efficiencies across the organisation. By investing in staff through apprenticeships, they create a positive environment for people to thrive in, increasing retention of staff and productivity levels across all departments.
Apprenticeships at Poundland have become integral to how we move forward as a business, not only to upskill our existing staff, but also how do we then look at recruiting in new staff with an apprenticeship. As an apprentice myself back in the day, I realised how important apprenticeships are, and I'm very proud to be part of National Apprenticeship 21, but also how we then start to move forward as a country and as an employer to really drive the number of apprentices up in Poundland.
During the last 12 months, the project management apprentices on programme at Wilko have been invaluable. They have supported the rollout of several COVID-19 related initiatives, from health and safety processes in store, procurement and distribution of personal protective equipment and self-scanners, to all stores to carry on working in a remote environment, implementing Microsoft Teams across the organisation. Without the apprentices that they currently got on programme to support with these business critical requirements, Dave would have needed to put his own project management team into managing these projects, which would have put a delay to the ongoing work towards their 2030 Wilko strategy.
Whilst 2020 has been very difficult in terms of the pandemic, Poundland were very lucky to be classified as a critical retailer, and therefore all of our colleagues are classed as critical workers. If it wasn't for them and the service that they provide, Poundland as a business wouldn't be anywhere near what it is now. They've been integral to how we move forwards as a business, but also they've been integral to how they support their own continuous professional development with this apprenticeship. We've been very fortunate that the majority of our apprentices have continued on their apprenticeship journey throughout this period, and we're very happy that the progress that they've made with the training providers. And
during the trying COVID-19 pandemic, we have all suffered challenges. ITD had a huge increase overnight to our services at the beginning of lockdown, and it was with the help of our committed apprentices that we managed to keep our heads above water and provide the service that our customers expect. Our apprentices are the future of ITD Global, and we value and encourage them to do well within the company. The better they do, the better we do.
We have seen an increase in our levy spend, and therefore we've seen a reduction in the expiration of funds. By using that levy funds to support our internal colleagues, that has in turn seen a reduction in our turnover of staff, which has been at the forefront of why we chose apprenticeships to support their development. Our index score has also increased. Because we're offering CPD to our staff, they feel more supported and in turn more happy working for Poundland. We now have a clear pathway for our employers, our colleagues, to understand how they get from A to B and how they progress their career. Every single role in Poundland now has an associated apprenticeship standard now, but also one for the future. So how can they develop themselves right now in their current role, but also how do we move them forwards and progress them into that higher role? Externally, it's made us more attractable. We are now starting to become that employer of choice. People recognise Poundland as that company that I would like to work for, and apprenticeships has definitely supported that benefit. We now advertise all vacancies with that apprenticeship standard attached should they want to upskill themselves as part of that, but also how we are starting to recruit now has really decreased our time to hire. We now have tailored programs in place. So one of the key things working with Systems Group was around how can we embed our internal training programs into an apprenticeship standard. And I'm very pleased that Systems Group took that on board and really developed our Management and Leadership Academy to ensure that included everything that we do internally. And finally, with the government's new incentives, that's really supported Poundland to have a positive return on investment. Where we've seen that positive return on investment is through the incentive programme, and therefore we're then able to utilise that incentive to fund the training hours, but also to support further development through different CPD programmes. As mentioned previously, it's all about ensuring that we continue to become that employer of choice and we recognise in our current colleagues.
And one of the biggest benefits Dave mentioned of apprenticeships is the ring-fence levy, and that it's a dedicated training and development fund that cannot be spent on anything other than the apprenticeships. In most scenarios, when things get stretched, training budgets can be put under pressure, whereas the apprenticeship levy is a committed spend that is unaffected by these pressures, especially with these times with the COVID-19 and some of the restrictions put on place with some of their budgets. The levy budget that's been allocated to Wilco is ring-fenced for them to actually dedicate to new apprenticeships or upskilling existing employees on apprenticeship programs across the business. And with the breadth and depth of apprenticeships available, allows every area of their business to support the continuous professional development for their teams.
I'd like to thank you for your time and just again highlight how important apprenticeships are, not only for Poundland, for any employer. If you are an employer out there that is not invested into apprenticeships just yet, please feel free to add me on LinkedIn. I'm more than happy to discuss. And again, what I would urge is you speak to your training providers on a more regular basis to ensure they meet your needs. Have a positive National Apprenticeship Week 2021 and all the best for this year.